Ladies and gentlemen, it's always more informative, more interactive, and definitely more intellectual teams. This is the Great Debaters Contest Season 8, 12 regions, over 500 schools. Who will be the next great debater? I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperantia Kapanga. And today, speaking about co-curricular activities, which include debate, the motion is co-curricular activities in schools should be examinable subjects.
Proposing this motion, we have Marymount School.
And opposing the motion, we have Anestar Victory Girls. Chris, let's see if we'll be setting exams soon.
Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
They say the quality of life is determined by its activities. Then, what they did not go wrong when they said winter is coming. I believe that winter really is coming, and I guess it encapsulates me. And that is why I, Kulola Kitatu, stands before you this day to propose the motion that states co-curriculum activities in schools should be made examinable subjects. Co-curriculum activities are programs and learning experiences that in some way complement what we do in our classes. Now that is according to the edglossary.com. Examples of co-curriculum activities are debating, yoga, physical education, we commonly call PE. And we also have the girl who was seated outside writing names on certificates. That is a curriculum activity. Examine, on the other hand, is to test someone to see how much they know about a subject or what they can do. To my first point, examinations give you something to strive for. What incentive would there be if no one ever assessed what you knew? What incentive would there be if no one ever appreciated what you had in your hand? We all need goals to work hard, aim higher, and dream bigger. So, I'll give you an example. I go for PE every Friday for 40 minutes, knowing very well that I am wasting my time. I literally go for PE to bask, to storytell, and definitely fantasize about the previous funky or any other thing. So what if someone told me that, Kulola, you know what? Did you read for that PE paper? Would I or would I not have read for that PE paper? Let me lead you to my second point. Examining co-curriculum activities will reduce overcrowding in job opportunities. What am I trying to explain to you? All of you here, apparently 68% of you here or more are students. You know, those students in class, how many students want to become doctors? How many students want to become teachers, lawyers, engineers? There are so many. www.edilinks.com proves that in a class of 50, 42 of the students choose to become these people in future. So I'm trying to look at Mariam Bishar, Austin Nyambok, Chris, and even Esperanza. These are epitomes of what we call co-curriculum activities. They decided to choose their passion. They decided to be driven to where they are right now. Maybe you will get a chance to go and ask them how much they earn and see just how much they get. So ladies and gentlemen, I kindly ask you to side me in this motion, to strongly propose it. Let's think about it.
First opposer, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
We should learn to love education and love to learn education. Phoebe Mkakina from Anestar Victory Girls, opposing the motion that states co-curriculum activities should be examinable subjects in school. What are co-curriculum activities? These are things that we do just for pleasure during the free times. And what are curriculum academics? This is the kind of learning whereby students obtain knowledge and skills which can be used in a profession. And it is to be examinable. This is a way to test the ability of understanding of a certain student. And to my first point, there is obvious logic in having super talented individuals. Instead, most modern careers require knowledge and skills so as to prosper. Why should we distract a student from developing skills in a certain selected the field of prosperity? if you go to see a doctor or an engineer, we are not interested in how well-rounded he or she is. What we are interested in is how he or she performed the work. The Prime Minister does not play soccer in the House of Commons. What he does is that he uses the knowledge and the skills he acquires so as to settle all the disputes in the House of Commons. Secondly, the academic curriculum is really more important and must continue to be given more status in the life of our students. Students are meant to work and acquire education so as to get recognized qualifications. Let's have an example of the governor of Mombasa, Joho. During the election, the government did not require how much skills he has in playing of soccer or swimming. What they demanded from him is whether he has a degree so as to become the governor of Mombasa. So, co-curriculum activity has yes, they are nice, but unfortunately, they don't play a vital role in the student's life. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
My opposers have amused me more than convinced me that I should support their motion. That I should not support this motion, sorry. I strongly support this motion because, first of all, yes, Governor Joho got a D in his KCSE certificate, as they claim. But how sure are we that if we gave him PE or we gave him drama or something else, maybe even debate, if we examined him, how sure are we that he will not have gotten a better grade, maybe a C+, maybe he'd have gotten an A in this co-curricular activity that would have lifted his grade. Then, the world is not made of doctors and engineers only, and that's what the first proposer said, that you need to create more job opportunities away from the white-collar jobs. We need PE teachers, we need gym instructors, we need so many people in this society. And that leads me to my first point on health. So many people in this country suffer from chronic diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure, you name it. These diseases can simply be prevented had these people learned how to exercise. How do you think they can learn how to exercise these things? By co-curriculum activities like physical education. And how do you think we can assure people that they have carried these skills with them outside school? By examining them. There's no way we can prove to people that they are able to manage their own health unless we examine them. On to my second point, this can be a great source of government revenue. Mark Conrad, an associate professor of legal and ethical studies at Fordham University School of Business, says that people treat sport as their religion. If people treat sport as a religion and we increase the opportunities people have in participating in sport activities, let's say we increase the number of football matches we have, we improve our rugby. Our rugby team used to be the best among the best in the world, but right now it's reducing. It's being beaten by Australia. If we give them examinations, I'm sure they will improve in whatever they are doing. And if you look at economies of countries that examine co-curricular activities, let's take Mauritius, for example, an African country. It's doing very well as compared to Kenya. They have good infrastructure. Look at Netherlands and Finland. Those are great countries that examine co-curricular activities. There may be more countries that don't examine co-curricular activities, but guess what? They're going nowhere. We have so many African countries that have just decided that they don't want to examine co-curricular activities, and they're going nowhere. Why can't we follow the road less traveled by people, and it's taking them somewhere? I will also go to say that certificates are an evidence of something you have accomplished. If we test our doctors, they have to show us that they have done biology in high school to do medicine. Then why can't we test our athletes so that they can prove to us that they have done something in their elementary school, in their high schools, to prove to us that, yes, I can go and represent the country somewhere else? Why can't we do that for such other job opportunities? Why can't we do that for yoga instructors? Why can't we do that for debate club judges? Why do we have to focus so much on other kinds of careers and leave alone these others? On to my last point, it's a measure of authenticity and integrity. Many of us know that, especially with the new system, the famous Matiang'i system, that exams have become a measure of integrity, and they prove to you that you have done something genuinely. 95% of Africans are researched by www.edlinks.com, tells us that 95% of Africans admit to have done malpractices in whatever they do. If we examine people, we are sure that these malpractices will end. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for rebuttal.
I'm Amol Chol from Anestar Victory Girls, here to oppose the motion that co-curriculum activities should be an examinable subject in school. I have a few questions to ask my opponents. You gave an example of Esperanza who is hosting a debate because she has the talent in it. Esperanza, were you tested? Were you examined in school? Come on, we don't have to add to the workload. You talk of Joho that he's a governor and maybe people consider what he was doing. When he was stepping up for the seat, no one cared that he knew how he used to play football. No one cared that he was a superstar in a football field. Everybody, all they wanted to know was that he had a degree. You talk of you must be examined in school for you to know these co-curriculum activities. Let me tell you one thing. If you don't have to have a blade and a gun if your sole reason is to kill. Let's take an example of Julius Yego. He's the best javelin thrower in the entire Kenya. He didn't take classes for that in high school, or was he examined? He learned them through online learning. So this thing of bringing them to school, I don't totally agree with them. And my first point is choice works in two ways. If co-curriculum activities are so good, why don't you let the students choose if they're going to do it or not? Students have 8 subjects. That's what everyone is doing here. But when the mocks are approaching, we hear several schools annually that are being banned because the students are freaking out from exams. If you add to another subject, to be added to what they have, I swear this round is going to be neck on fire. And you said countries that are not examining these co-curriculum activities are not going anywhere. Okay, I have a question for you. This is Kenya. Since 1964 up to now, I think we have changed. We are going somewhere, and we are not examining this thing. So why didn't you look at Kenya instead of just making the whole world be one thing and saying they're going nowhere? Kenya is going somewhere, and we are not examining this thing. Take it as a co-curriculum activity. Make it as your passion. Go do it elsewhere. These clubs are outside the school. Don't add to them. Imagine there's something as funny as having a paper on your table that you're going to be examining about football. Come on. You have so much. Chemistry is so hard. We have math is another thing you have to get. When I'm in the field every day, last week, I went for games. And that night, I didn't read anything. I was so tired. Come on. I was so tired. Put this in the timetable that every day I have to be going for games. Come on. I won't read anything in the evening. So I'm concentrating on one thing. The co-curriculum activity is just but a waste of time. If you feel you love it, do it outside school. Don't add another paper to my list. Thank you.
Proposers have been asked, if we do introduce exams for co-curricular activities, how exactly do they intend to have them assessed? The opposers have been asked, for those who are talented, where will they take their talents if it is not examinable in school? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
Education is a pretty broad concept that surpasses the 4 walls of a classroom. Well, I'm sure most of you are wondering, why should we examine co-curricular activities? Well, worry no more. Morao Mari from Marymount Secondary School is here with all the answers. So I have been asked the question, if we introduce the examination of co-curricular activities to the curriculum, how are we planning to assess them? Well, this is already a co-curricular activities. And what these judges are doing, this is assessing our debating skills. This is assessing who is the better debater, who deserves to take the crown of the great debater. So my first point, assessing of co-curriculum activities cuts on time, is time-saving and cuts on costs. So I'm sure most of you here come from high schools all over Nakuru region. And after your 4-year course, you are planning to join the National Youth Service in order to acquire basic skills. Skills like jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, environmental conservation, and soil conservation. Well, these skills can be easily acquired in high school if only we decide to assess our co-curricular activities. And the main objective of the National Youth Service is to provide youths with skills necessary to survive in the job market. Yet, I'm sure all of you have heard of the scandals pertaining to the National Youth Service, with the latest one being just a few weeks old. A woman was paid 60 million for providing air. I thought it was free. She provided air to the NYS officials and was paid 60 million. So, if we assess our co-curricular activities, we can do away with this corrupt body. The skills gotten from the NYS can be easily gotten from high school. My second point. Examination of co-curricular activities promotes good interrelationship skills and overall personality development. As I have said before, this debate we are holding is a co-curriculum activity, and we are being assessed. So, to my opponents, I'd like to ask, what are you still doing here if you are against co-curricular activity examinations, such as what is being done here? And my last point. Examination of co-curricular activities build the confidence of students who are not talented in the field of academics. Not all of us can get 100% in physics. Not all of us can get 100% in mathematics. And those people who can't get 100% in mathematics, they always feel bad because they are called failures by society. How can we change this mentality? Studies by the National Crime Records Bureau, 2015 data, in India, every 1 hour, a student commits suicide. This is bad, and it's really sad. So how can we change this? We assess these students. We show them that they're worthy in other fields. We give them certificates that tell them they can dance, tell them they can sing, tell them they can debate. We give them hope.
Tadopuzo, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
Musicians must make music. Poets must write. And artists must paint. All these people do not have to be examined if they have passion. A question was posed. How do we assess the talented people? Actually, we can't do that. Take example of all those good basketball players. LeBron James. LeBron did not be examined in school in order to get to where he is. No. It was his passion, his drive to do what he knows best. Besides, these co-curricular activities bring a very bad, expensive picture to our country. For example, take a situation maybe in northeastern of Kenya, a school in northeastern. These people don't even have classrooms. Will the Ministry of Education build classrooms, or will the Ministry of Education ensure that they have swimming kits, ensure that they have basketball and football? It is an expensive method because it requires a lot of staff. It requires a lot of resources. It also has to be ensured that these co-curriculum activities like games and other things are prepared for the student, are put in order for the student. This is only a waste of our money, a waste of our expenses. Secondly, most specialist professions still provide a wide range of career opportunities without even having to need to be overwhelming on academic activities. Take an example of an athlete who got an injury in mayhap. Maybe this athlete does not want to venture into another thing. The athlete can still venture in the career, the same field, but different, very different post. The athlete can be either a lecturer in science sports or a coach coaching the other athletes to become better. All these things has been said about co-curriculum activity being examined. This is an addition to our stress, an addition to our list of many more other subjects. It will only cause tension and fright to our students. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for a final statement.
A Chinese saying says, "Teach me and I'll forget. Show me and I might remember. But involve me and I will never forget." From being a source of revenue to time saving, interrelationship skills, and personal development. They boost your confidence. They boost who you are right now. They change your personal attributes towards people. They give you something to strive for. That is what we call co-curriculum activities. Now, there's only one task we have left to examine co-curriculum activities. We have to integrate examinations of co-curriculum activities into our examination system. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
Choices really works two ways, just as my colleague has said. Let us not force our students to succumb to the many subjects in addition to our lists. Let us not make them be forced to do what they do not want. Let us make these students choose whether they want academic and non-academic or academic alone. Peace Mudeu, opposing the motion from Anestar Victory Girls. Thank you.
Marymount Girls. I'll go straight to the first speaker, Julia. Julia, you started your team off well. You're a very strong speaker. You gave a very good introduction with the definition of terms. That was good. I also felt you had very good exemplifications of your points. That was quite good. Sharon, you did good in the cross-examination. I was convinced with the football example. You gave us an example of football. It sounded convincing. Your mastery of language, Sharon, was good. Though I felt your ending was a little bit shaky. You did not end well, though you're a good speaker. Charity, you are another confident speaker. Though on your point, you had a very good point, but the NYS case did not come out clear. You did not even cite, you did not give the citation, you did not give the source. I felt that was not well tackled, that point. Then you also gave us a case study from India. You talked of the students committing suicide. But then I expected you to go ahead and tell us, maybe to give a reason or some reasons why they do this. You did not. You just left that case hanging. You did not conclude it well.
Joel, the audience liked it very much when you told them that we don't need another exam on our table. We have enough maths and chem without burdening us anymore. And that is where the audience applauded. And that's a plus. You knew, you got a way of connecting with the audience, and they are agreeing with you adds a point to your submission. And that's the way the new curriculum is going. It's heading towards taking into account your talent. Maybe not really examining, but it is going to be taken into consideration how well you are doing in talent and in co-curricular activities in general. So it is an issue that is at the heart of every student here and in the country. That is why it is a contemporary issue. I think both teams did very well, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
To Anestar Victory Girls, good rebuttal as well as the opposition. I think Charity started off well, but I think there could have been more energy, all right, to start over your team. But Amo came and destroyed everybody else. I mean, that was commendable. Good job and keep it up, all right? Peace as well. I think as your name says, you came peacefully and delivered your submissions. All the best to both teams.
And now, down to the numbers. This debate was a close one. We have Marymount High School with 70%. Let's give them a round of applause. And Anestar Victory Girls, the judges saw it fit to award you 69%, making Marymount the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to both teams. Remember, you might have lost the battle, but you've just found another way to win the war. To all members of the audience and those watching us from at home, remember to at least implement one sustainable development goal so that you can make Kenya a better place. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. See you next time.